first section of A Hidden World starts with a flight from Singapore into Harbin, where we have 2 nights. We then board a bullet train to the imperial city of Shenyang. We stay 2 nights here before taking a 90-minute train ride to Dandong on the China-North Korean border for a 1-night stay. St. Sophia Cathedral, centre of Harbin, was built in 1907 at a time when more Russians lived in Harbin than Chinese. Today the city has 10 million residents, but because of its proximity and Russian heritage, it is a unique and beautiful city in China. It is a heritage that Harbiners are proud of, and everywhere there is evidence of Russian influence, particularly in Central Street, the city's cobblestone pedestrianised boulevard. The street is over 100 years old, and it has witnessed the transformation of Harbin from a small fishing village into a modern city. And one that was built very much along Russian lines. The legacy of that time is ubiquitous, from Russian ice cream to Zuya Russian restaurant, where we have lunch. Harbin is situated on the Songhua River, and the embankment, which is opposite our hotel, is a beautiful place to stroll to feel the relaxed pace of Harbin life. In summer, the riverside comes alive as baskers, couples and families mingle to enjoy the warm summer evenings. Close to Harbin is the forgotten Far East Auschwitz, Unit 731. It was here that the brightest scientists of Imperial Japan performed experiments to develop chemical weapons on prisoners of war between 1937 and 1945. Though Unit 731 Museum is a sobering experience, it is a superb presentation of the most notorious war crimes in the Far East. In the afternoon, we leave Harbin on a bullet train to Shenyang. Our luggage has already left by car, and the 560-kilometre journey will take us just 1 hour 45 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to take this train. We will stop at following stations: Shenyang Bay Station. For safety reasons, no smoking is allowed.
Not even 15 years ago, Shenyang was a forgotten northeastern rust bucket. Today, like so many other far-flung Chinese stations, Shenyang is now gleaming, dynamic and ready for business. the very heart of the city is the Shenyang Imperial Palace. It showcases the beauty of ancient Chinese culture. It was built between 1625 and 1645 and was the home of 3 Manchu Qing dynasties. It houses innumerable artifacts, and its porcelain and pottery collection are among the finest in the world. It's considered to be a beautiful miniature of Beijing's Forbidden City. Nearby the Imperial Palace is Shenyang's earliest commercial street. It dates back to the Qing dynasty. Today it's still thriving, and after a stroll we have dinner at the famous Haidilao hot pot. The most famous and delicious hot pot in China. There is 1 or 2 in every city in the country. Even Sydney has one now. Close to Shenyang is the stunning Benshi water cave system. We board a boat to discover the wonders of this giant 5 million year cavern complex. Temperatures are a constant year-round 12 degrees Celsius. This is the longest water-filled karst cave in the world, and the forest of stalactites and stalagmites are beautifully lit along a 3-kilometre underground river. After 2 nights in Shenyang, we leave by train for Dandong, the China border city with North Korea. It will take us 1 hour 15 minutes, and once again our luggage is on its way to Dandong by car. We pass through the beautiful Wulong scenic area. We arrive at Dandong and head for the most eastern part of the Great Wall of China at Hushan, or Tiger Mountain, on the Yellow River. And it will be our first glimpse of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the DPRK, or North Korea. One of the icon images of Dandong is a broken bridge. Sometimes called the Bridge to Nowhere, it was bombed during the Korean War in 1950, largely to stop the Chinese troop movements over the Yellow River to DPRK. Right in the centre of the city, it has now become a symbol of US aggression. We walk to the end of what is left of the structure. This is as close as 99% of tourists will ever get to North Korea, because at this point we are just 150 metres away from the DPRK shoreline. And this Ferris wheel is that shoreline. And from our hotel room, we have splendid views to the broken bridge and the new Sino-Korean bridge next to it. We will cross this in the morning. From Dandong, we cross into the DPRK via a 10-hour train journey to Pyongyang. We have a total of 5 nights in the capital, including a day trip to Panmunjom to see the DMZ. We then board a bus to the mountains of Miaoyang for a night. After, we fly from Pyongyang via Beijing back to Australia. It's 9:30 in the morning. Chinese immigration has been completed, and the train leaves Dandong, crossing the 900-metre Sino-Korean Friendship Bridge into Sinuiju, North Korea. We pass the broken bridge to enter a startlingly different world. This is rare footage of North Korea's famous all-girl band singing the most catchy melody in the country. The song is about this very train from Dandong to Pyongyang. The tune can be heard all over the country as women in traditional jigoris dance enthusiastically to the North Korean version of the Spice Girls. Even pop icons dress conservatively in North Korea. This skirt length is as risque as it gets. Immigration is completed on board the train in 20 minutes. The officials are very friendly and share jokes with us. They are completely laid back. The train is by far the best way to see the North Korean countryside. Every last piece of land is used for cultivation. These days there is even a dining car attached to the middle of the train. The song's lyrics talk of leaving loved ones in Dandong, and the country and revolution must be protected at all costs. In fact, if there is one song that grips the country and provides a window into the surreal world of DPRK, this is it. The train, which runs every day of the week from Dandong, is seldom late. And as it approaches 7 o'clock in the evening, we are on the outskirts of Pyongyang.
So on behalf of the Korea International Travel Company, I warmly welcome all of you to be here, the Pyongyang, the capital of DPRK.
This is our hotel, the Yankado. It's positioned on an island in the middle of the Taedong River. Renovated in 2019, it is one of 2 hotels where foreigners are allowed to stay. It has fantastic views of the Pyongyang skyline from the revolving restaurant on the 47th floor. And the rooms are comfortable and well appointed. Sunrise in Pyongyang is a beautiful sight. Nearly 3 million people live in this city, and over the next few days we will explore this fascinating and grandiose metropolis. Spotlessly clean, this is a city where parks share equal space with epic monuments, and one of the most iconic and where all travellers start is Mansudae Grand Monument. The statues with Kim Il-sung on the left are 20 metres in height and made of bronze. Protocol is to lay flowers and bow to great leader and dear leader respectively. Close by is Kim Il-sung Square, famous for twice yearly massive military parades that are shown in Western and DPRK media. Military performers use these white spots on the ground to keep perfect order during the parades that are attended by thousands. Pyongyang traffic police ladies, always wearing close-fitting uniforms, pretty and hypnotically robotic. They have been an icon image of the city since the 1980s. They must retire at the age of 26, and if they marry, they can no longer hold the position. And rumour has it that they are hand-picked by Kim Jong-un himself. Across the river from Kim Il-sung Square is another of the most recognisable symbols, monument to the party: the hammer, the sickle and the writing brush. This is Moran Hill on a Sunday. 10 years ago, foreigners were not allowed here, but today, travel directors have a picnic in this beautiful park with the locals. The atmosphere is fantastic, and the people are always happy to celebrate Sunday here with their families. Travel always teaches us that people are the same all over the world. The DPRK is no exception. The Pyongyang Metro was built by the Soviets in 1973. It was constructed 100 meters below the Taedong River, making it one of the deepest in the world. It has 2 lines and 16 stations. It spans around 12 kilometers. During peak hours, it can move over 500,000 people. Though many of the stations are palatial, there are also purpose-built bunkers in case of attacks from the US or South Korea. It's early morning in Pyongyang, and we leave for the Demilitarized Zone and the border with South Korea. It is one of the most exciting days in world travel. A few kilometers outside of the city, we stop at the Arch of Reunification. The woman on the left is from the north, and on the right from the south. Together, they hold a map of Korea. It is a moving and sad reminder of the fissure of the Korean peninsula. The 170-kilometer journey will take just over 2 hours on a 6-lane highway. We reach the DMZ checkpoint and meet our guide, a North Korean army captain. He shows us the layout of the frontline zone. This is not an international border. The Korean War has never officially ended. We then board our bus and drive through a 2-kilometer concrete bunker to arrive into the joint security area and the exact place of the 38th parallel. The raised concrete line in the middle of the huts is the 38th parallel, and the building behind is Peace House in South Korea. A visit to the JSA from the north side is so surprising because the army staff that accompany the groups are just so relaxed. They ask questions and share jokes and cigarettes with their visitors. We enter the middle building. The negotiating table sits right in the middle of the 38th parallel. And so, a walk around the table takes us briefly into South Korea. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un met at the demarcation line in September 2018. Both crossed the threshold. Less than a year later, Donald Trump proudly became the first US president to set foot on North Korean soil. We say goodbye to our captain and head back to the city in time for the greatest show on earth. This is the Mayday Stadium. Built in 1989, it is the largest in the world. Tonight is a performance of the Mass Games, which is held most years between the 15th of August and the 10th of October. The show, in front of an audience of 150,000 and with 100,000 participants, is a phenomenal extravaganza, the like of which can be found nowhere else. The Hidden World is a tour like no other in Travel Director's portfolio. Every day is a jaw-dropping experience, and quite simply, there is no other travel destination on the planet quite like North Korea.